Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to today's new moon readings and your moon month energy update. We begin this moon month with a new moon in Libra, and overall I have to say the energetics of this moon month are pretty strong. Now firstly, welcome everyone. Welcome if you're returning to these readings, to this energy update. Welcome if you're new. It's fabulous to be connecting with you all, especially at these times of monumental shift and change. Now, if you just want to move straight through to the readings, I'm putting the timestamps in the description box below. Likewise, if as you navigate this month, you find yourself hitting a point where the energy is really quite strong and you're kind of thinking, what's going on? I'm going to put the timestamps, as always, with dates for the different moon phases during the entire moon month. So if you find yourself having a wobble, you can come back to this video. So bookmark the page if this might be useful for you. You can come back to this video, you can find the timestamp that is relevant to the date that you're sitting in and just check out the incoming energy and the astrodynamics of that time. This is quite a powerful month. There's a lot happening astrologically. We're seeing huge potential for some really, really big shifts. However, it's kind of like we've got a double layer of energy taking place. There's loads of positivity, there's loads of space for innovation, for out-of-the-box thinking, for finding solutions, for moving things forwards, which is fantastic. However, there's an undertone of far more intense, discordant energy. It comes in different ways, different flavours throughout the month, but it's there. You know, there's no denying it's there. There's a lot of big shifts possible, but they could come from areas of tension. You might find yourself looking back at certain things and stuff coming to the surface or buttons pressed. The purpose of this is to shift and move away from it, to find a solution that is sustainable, viable, for let's say for a high vibrational future. I mean, I feel like this is really where we're at. In the readings, we're going to be looking at decoding your destiny, because there's such a flavour of being able to kind of consciously embrace the energy and use whatever circumstances come to us, whether it's just a really busy, hectic world full of opportunity and you can seize those opportunities, or it's kind of there's tension coming to the surface or buttons are pressed or you're revisiting stuff. There is still possibility. It's this double layer of energy that's around. So I'm going to move through into the energy update and then I will move on and do the new moon readings for you. As I said, beautiful souls, I'll put all the timestamps below for you. And I think that's really probably all I need to say. I'm going to bring up a PDF onto the screen so that you can actually kind of see the different moon phases. One last thing actually before I move straight into the moon phases. Now, this is the time of the month. Whenever we start a new moon month, which begins with the new moon, you know, that's how a moon month phase begins. It doesn't always align with our calendar months. Sometimes it does, but not always. I always also give you the void of course periods if there are any large ones. Now, July, August, September, we had void of course moons that were unprecedented in terms of the size of them and the number of them. We are now settling back down to what feels a bit more like normal, you know, whatever normal is. But in terms of the way that void of course moons tend to operate, a lot of them are very small, they're barely noticeable. Now, if you're following my readings and the moon month energy updates, you'll know all about void of course moons. I've put them in other videos. But in brief, a void of course moon is when the moon is kind of not connected to other planetary alliances and is sort of sailing through into the next sign. So there's a pocket of lunar energy that can feel very, very liberating and empowering, but because there's sort of no other connections, no direction, we can feel a bit out at sea, which is why it's really worth knowing if there are any long ones. This month we only have 3. Literally 3. We've been having tons and tons in previous months. There are only 3 and only 2 of them are around 5.5 hours and only one which is much, much longer. So I'll let you know when they are. I'll bring them up on the PDF, and if you're on any of my mailing lists, I will send out a PDF with the key astrological dates for you throughout this moon month and also those void of course periods as well. So let's move to the energy update and let's first of all look at the new moon in Libra. So this moon month is running from October through November. It's not aligning with a calendar month. Now, when I send you out the PDF, I'll send you these void of course moon times and also the key astrological dates throughout the month. Now, we're going to look at each of these moon phases and the incoming energy for each of them. They really do shift and change a lot, and it's really helpful to understand the moon phase energy because it really, really helps us to manifest in alignment with the incoming lunar influence. So let's look at the new moon. Now, we have this new moon in Libra. It's on October the 21st or the 22nd. This just depends on where you are in the world, and I'm going to bring up the timings for you in just a minute on the screen. Now, the overall dynamics of this new moon actually do suggest potential tension and some potential underlying frustrations. This could possibly be maybe sort of triggering what I would call autopilot patterns of behaviour. You know, when we automatically just react to something without actually stopping to think about how we're feeling or what's happening or what kind of energy is around us. And this can inadvertently hinder or block our progress, which is why it's really helpful to understand what's going on. However, there is also an energetic that really wants expansion and healing. What we don't want to do is to expand our autopilot responses. We want to expand our conscious choices. So really pay attention to whatever surfaces, because it's your awareness that holds the key to opening the door of all the potentials that are also present in the overall dynamics of this day. Now, there's also a further planetary alignment, which is really about openings and new beginnings. And this is calling for us to dissolve the old, to restructure and to allow the new to emerge. It's really ever present and it's very strong throughout this moon month. And this is backed up by a very powerful flow of positivity. And this dynamic also strengthens communication skills and sharpens your mental thinking. So this is going to help you to hold a clear focus and give you the motivation to then actually take action and drive things forwards. So the real key of the energy on this day is about actually being still enough to really notice what's going on and then very consciously choose with awareness to decide how you're going to use that energy. Let me bring up the timings for you. Now, wherever you are on our beautiful planet, the timings are quite crucial with a new moon because the exact point of the new moon is when the moon and the sun come together. It's like a sacred marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So it's a point of fertility. So if you're conscious of the way that you're thinking, and if you think of an intention or a wish, it's rather like a prayer. It's a focused thought. And that focused thought is sending energy out into the universe. And we want to be aligning with the higher potentials of the day. So this point of fertility is really useful if you're going to set new moon wishes and new moon intentions. The moon then moves into her waxing crescent moon phase. This is running from October the 22nd to the 28th. The moon will pass through Scorpio, Sagittarius and Capricorn. Now, this moon phase begins with a major astrological shift, suggesting the potential for us to maybe revisit some old issues. However, from an entirely new and potentially innovative perspective. So there's that duality of energy again. And this really holds strong, this flavour. And it is supported and ignited by the influence of our beautiful moon, who is going to be sort of beginning to gather energy. She's starting from the new moon period and starting to move into her crescent phase, which means she starts to get bigger and bigger. I always kind of liken the energy in this moon phase to kind of coming out of a parking lot. You know, at the new moon you set your destination and then you come out of the parking lot, and sometimes the energy is very slow or even kind of a bit, I don't know, higgledy-piggledy and interrupted. But this isn't. It's really quite strong. This is kind of pulling out of the parking lot and you can put your foot on the gas and get going. But be conscious of how you are kind of driving this period. Now, the overall energy actually does increase in strength. So it's literally you can put your foot on the accelerator and you're going to get going. It's going to get faster and faster. And there's also an added dynamic that really does suggest out-of-the-box thinking and unusual, even eccentric solutions. Now, this is definitely a period when I think motivation is the key to success. If you're trying to lag, then you're out of sync with the energy, because the energy wants to get going. So whatever is emerging and unfolding in your world, keep going. Think outside of the box as well and take full advantage of the favourable dynamics which want to move things forwards, but potentially in unexpected ways. The moon then reaches her first quarter moon position. This is on October the 29th in Aquarius. And I began writing about this with a statement: where there's a will, there's a way. Now, a first quarter moon, the energy highlights what we need to do to overcome difficulties and step up into our fullest potential. The dynamics of this day are primed to bring higher-minded solutions and innovations and even light bulb moments, supported by a further dynamic that is then bringing the strength to overcome any difficulties and support progression, expansion, emergence and transformation. So this is quite wow, but if you're in a zone where you're really fearing change or worrying or wobbling about change, this could feel very strong. So really try to get grounded. You know, if anything in your world is feeling stuck, or you struggle with procrastination, or you're lacking in a clarity of direction, or you're struggling to feel motivated, the best way to use this energy is to really jump on board with it. Get still and meditate into it and ask for guidance. But be prepared to actually then take action, because you might get a response that shows up in quite an unexpected or unconventional or innovative way. But everything is primed to really help you to see how to move forwards, even if it's not the way that you were expecting. So really sit with this. If you're having a wobble, get still, meditate, ask for guidance, and then open yourself to be really open to whatever shows up. The moon then reaches her waxing gibbous moon phase. This is from October the 30th through to November the 4th. We have two of those void of course pockets as well. The first one is on the 31st of October. This is the 5.5 hour long one when the moon moves from Aquarius into Pisces. And the second is on the 4th of November when the moon moves from Aries into Taurus. And this is about 5 hours. So they're the two smaller ones of the month, but nevertheless, they are there. Be aware of them, because during this moon phase, the energy is building in power and strength. Now, the lunar energy is building because she's moving from that first quarter position to her fullest. We often feel a lot of emotional energy rising at this sort of time. She's passing through Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and into Taurus. And the overall flow of the dynamics really matches the overall kind of energetic expansion of the moon's energy. The overall energy suggests progression, solutions, and even though there are definitely some underlying tensions, the positive dynamics do outweigh the challenges or the negativity. Again, be conscious, be aware, look for those out of the box opportunities, look for those higher minded solutions. Now, we literally are living in a time in history that is calling for change and calling for healing. And during this moon time, the increasing lunar energy really adds weight to a flavour of fate and destiny. And this is suggesting that I think divine timing may come into play. So be particularly responsive to whatever is unfolding. This is a time to trust the universe, notice, be aware, and actively co-create with the universe. Whether this is personally or on the global stage, really be conscious of where you are and of the choices that are available for you. Evolutionary transformation is gathering momentum at this time, and given the overall strength of the positive alignments, trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. We then have a super full moon. This is on November the 5th or 6th in Taurus, the 5th or 6th depending on where you are in the world, and I'll bring up those timings in just a moment. Now, the overall dynamics of this super full moon are flooded with possibility. And yet there is also a very strong underlying dynamic that is highly charged, and this kind of energetic creates restlessness and the potential for maybe some more erratic outbursts. So be very aware of this, both in yourself and potentially that you might meet this in the world. And this is a super moon. which means that the moon's orbit is closer to the Earth, and so the energy is significantly stronger. In a few days' time, there will be a major planetary shift, and this is going to add to the electric and rather restless energy that we're already in. And at this point in time, we are in the Mercury and Jupiter retrograde shadow periods. So be highly aware of the potential for heightened emotions, because this is what happens at a full moon. If you think of emotions as energy in motion, and then you consciously work out how to harness the incredible potential of the overall positivity that is primed to support your growth and emergence, then you're going to get the very best of this day. If you are feeling in any way emotionally overwhelmed, get still and get grounded. Let the fullness of the moon illuminate the areas that you are needing to see. There may be things you need to let go of. There may be things you need to release. There may be things that you simply need to see. So try to be very still and very conscious. And if things are a little, I would almost say potentially erratic, a little unexpected, you always have a choice as to how you respond. Always be aware of that. Always be conscious of that. Now, these are the timings, and I always think the real value of understanding where the timings are in your part of the world is that we can often feel a real shift. If things are feeling a bit tetchy or a little bit erratic or a bit wobbly, often there's a release point actually at the actual point of the full moon. And if you really lean into the energy and get very still, you can really feel that shift, and it tends to free things up. So really see if you can notice this. If you find yourself particularly emotionally affected by the full moon, which is often the time when people really, really feel the energy of the moon, really, really notice that point of turn. Get still, be observant of it, listen to your own responses. Your body actually will often respond to the full moon energy. And if you are aware of it, it can kind of stop your mind from running away with you if you're getting a little bit, if you're picking up on the electric energy and you're feeling a little bit sparky or a little bit erratic yourself. If you really get still and lean into this, you'll notice that shift, whereas we can kind of miss that point if we are sort of running with it rather than getting still and slowing down enough to be present to it. Then you can take actions that are very conscious. The moon then moves into her disseminating or waning gibbous moon phase, and this is from November the 6th through to the 11th, passing through Taurus, Gemini, Cancer and Leo. Now, astrologically, this moon phase is seeing a ton of stuff going on, and it's really, really bringing in a massively diverse range of incoming energies. On the one hand, positivity rules. There is an incredibly strong and beautifully favourable flow of energy that is primed to bring you every possible avenue of support, and this is actually steady and consistent throughout. So yay, how fantastic. But on the other hand, there are some major planetary shifts taking place, including Mercury and Jupiter moving into retrograde. So I kind of want to say, don't be surprised if events and circumstances do not entirely run to plan. And if any diversions or interruptions or hiccups occur, you can be sure that they are arriving with purpose. This is what retrograde energy is about. It's often there to slow us down or get us to see something or get us to reflect and review before we move forwards. And we're not designed to push all the time, or we burn out. So rather than pushing through, look at whatever is happening through the lens of possibility. What are you being shown? Why are you being shown something? You may need to see or approach something differently, or it may just be that the universe might ask you just to slow down. The moon then reaches her last quarter position on November the 12th in Leo. Now, as always, a last quarter moon kind of brings evaluation, and it tends to be more internal than external, and with an emphasis on personal responsibility. And today, aided by both Jupiter and Mercury moving into retrograde, the dynamics of this moon suggest internal reflection with an emphasis on the power of positive thinking and positive feeling as well. Remember, emotions are energy in motion. Manifesting is not just about the way we think, it's about the way we feel. The overall flavour of the energy today promises to take you deep. So you may well experience insights and revelations that enable you to realign and reorientate, and in the best possible way. Today is a beautiful day to actually consciously slow down and assess your goals, your dreams and your visions, and reflect on your progress to date. Now, if you're someone who uses a vision board or you use affirmations, the energetics today are perfect to revisit these tools, and then from a perspective of potential new insights, make appropriate adjustments and additions to them. This, the Leo energy is really going to invite positivity. This is a strong moon month. It really is. There are energetics that are very powerful throughout. So this is a fabulous day to really consciously bring your focus within. Reflect, really consider, and then actually really think externally in terms of what you want to manifest and how you are manifesting from the inside out. The moon then reaches her balsamic moon or waning crescent moon phase, and this is from November the 13th to the 19th, and she's going to pass through Virgo, Libra and Scorpio. On the 17th, when the moon moves from Libra into Scorpio, we have the longest void, of course, of this moon month. This is nearly 10 hours long. Be very conscious of that. So that's the 17th of November. Now, the overall flavour of positivity continues throughout this moon month, or moon phase rather, but with periodic bursts of more intense energy. And these are kind of picked up on by the lunar energy. They're almost sparked by the moon as she moves through these sort of planetary alignments and connects with them. She's also steadily diminishing in strength. Now, these underlying astrodynamics do suggest a feeling of like wanting to break free and to move on and to remove previous limitations. So really notice this. Even though these surges of energy could feel a little bit disruptive, the overall positivity may well help to smooth things over and hopefully bring you quite quickly exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. And because of the retrograde energy that's around, this is one of those pockets of time when I would say practice the art of allowing, be ultra responsive, be prepared to take action, but nevertheless kind of try to go with the flow and act with consciousness at every step of the way. Now, bang in the middle of this moon time, there is a surge of really karmic energy that suggests the potential for synchronicities and divine timing. So if anything in your world isn't flowing or expanding, then ease off. The energy of the new moon that's coming is going to bring you the opportunity to reset your compass. So if you find that for some reason things aren't flowing forwards, it probably means that there's some sort of timing, there's a bigger picture, maybe something else needs to kick into place before something can progress. And sometimes just because we can't see the progression, it doesn't mean that it isn't progressing. It just means that the universe is kind of orchestrating things behind the scenes. So really, really, again, throughout this moon month, to be honest, really be a proactive participant in taking action, but only in a responsive way, leaning into the positivity of potential. Not being swept along or drawn into any reactive situations. Try to keep your energy really level and really on an even keel. And then on November the 20th, a new moon month begins with a new moon in Scorpio, and I will of course be doing new moon readings for that coming moon month, for that new moon, and I will also be giving you the energy rundown for that entire month as well. So beautiful souls, I think we should move on and look at the cards that I've drawn for the readings. Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to the part of this video where we are doing the readings. For those of you that listened in to the moon month energy update, I hope that was really, really valuable for you. And as you will know from that update, this is a really, really interesting moon month. There's a very big shift in the energy. So today we are asking in our readings, our new moon readings, about decoding your destiny. This is such a time of pivotal shift in the energy. So it feels very, very appropriate to kind of ask this question. So we're going to be asking about decoding your destiny and how the new moon is helping you with this. So we have 3 cards that I drew in my meditation before recording this video, and I'm also going to draw some tokens as well for anyone that wants any more in sort of guidance, additional guidance. But let me show you the cards first. So pile 1, we have the slave dances into freedom. This is for pile 1. For pile 2, we have grace in full flight. For pile 3, we have surrender, sensitive sister, be moved by the moon. Gosh, this is giving me like little goosebumps. Wow. Okay, well, I'm not going to say any more. We won't say any more until we dive into the readings. Let me move these along and let's get some tokens out as well. I do, by the way, put all of the cards and the tokens as well. Everything that I'm using, I put them in the description below for you. Okay, 2 for pile 1. You have a world, a little picture of the world, and you also have like a cog. Okay, that's your tokens for pile 1. What do we have for pile 2? Just 1 for pile 2. And you have a baby bird. And then for pile 3, this is really exciting. I really am really tingly. I'm getting goosebumps about these readings. Okay, you've got a gingerbread man for pile 3, and you have bells, a little pair of bells. I'm going to call them wedding bells because that's just what I was hearing. So we have wedding bells and a gingerbread man. And that is pile 3. Okay, beautiful souls. So I'm going to leave the video running for just a few moments longer for anyone that wants a little bit more time. And the timestamps, as always, are in the description below, so you can ping straight through to whichever reading or readings is talking to you. You know, sometimes it's more than one. That can happen. We can be drawn to more than one reading, so go with whatever is feeling right for you. So beautiful souls, I'll see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So, the slave dances into freedom. You're being given a ticket to something. Now, whether this is like a symbolic ticket, a door is opening for you, or literally something quite practical. Like literally it's an invitation or someone gives you a ticket to something. But something is opening up the world for you. It's drawing something to a completion. And it's moving something forwards. The world sometimes in the tokens can indicate long distance. So some of you could even be traveling. There could be a ticket to take you somewhere and it moves something forwards. It accelerates something. The cog is all about movement forwards. Let's draw some tea leaves and your oracle cards, and indeed from the Akashic Tarot. And then we'll draw more tarot cards as well. So let's find out about your destiny, decoding your destiny. I have a feeling your destiny is about to be accelerated. Actually, that is what's really coming through here. I'm seeing these. And also just in there, I'm seeing one as well. 2 coming through there. Okay, let's pop those to one side. Yeah, I do feel accelerated. Something is to be accelerated. Let's see what else we have here for my beautiful pile 1s. And welcome everybody, welcome. If you are just starting with the readings and haven't done the energy update at the beginning, you know, welcome. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're returning. Welcome everybody. Let's draw some Akashic Tarot cards as well. Seeing these. I think it is both of these, and also that one there. Okay, let's see what we have. You have grasshopper. Situations in the balance that require careful handling. You have love. You have fly. Okay. You have pineapple, reconciliation. How interesting. You've got a period of ill health, then reconciliation, then bread, which is prosperity and abundance. Then you have cooperation. You've got Libra. Okay, interesting. And you have love. Cooperation, fairness, relationships, partners. And you have the dancer of friendship as well. How beautiful. I love these cards. Dancer of friendship. Where can we place that so that the light isn't bouncing off it too much? It's quite a shiny card. But, you know, maybe it just needs to have the light bouncing off it. Let's have a look at your Akashic Tarot cards as well, and then we'll work out how we're going to lay everything out. So you have the Queen of Scrolls in a reverse position. You've got the Three of Keys. Okay, the chess game. You've got the Four of Keys. You've got the Journey. And then you have the Akashic Field. Okay, let's move your cards around and work out how we're going to see everything and keep everything in view as we bring in more cards for you. Let's put relationships here. Okay. Grasshopper. Love. Fly, pineapple. And bread, prosperity. Now this is interesting because the Journey card is in reverse, and I did wonder with the World card if you might travel, if travel might be involved for you in some way, shape or form. Clearing the way. Okay, I think you are having to handle a situation with a bit of tact and diplomacy here. I think, you know, the Libra energy keeps everything in balance. And, I mean, if any of you are Libras, or you have Libra in your chart, you may find that you have been having to navigate something very, very, very carefully, very thoughtfully. The slave dances into freedom. I think the way is being cleared for you. With the Four of Keys here. Something is leaving, or someone is leaving your life. There's an ending of some sort. It could even be a friend that's ended, a friendship that's ended for some of you. Or indeed it could be that a new friend comes in. The Dancer of Friendship is a lovely energy coming in to assist you. It's like someone coming in to help you. Someone coming to help you clear the way. This is very interesting. What I'm seeing is a really interesting balance of energy that is beautifully in alignment, actually, with the moon energy that we have just been reading about, talking about in the first part of this video. Decoding your destiny. Something is to be removed, or I think for many of you, someone is being removed that has been standing in your way. I think they've been blocking you with the Journey in reverse. I think they've been blocking you from progressing. That's what we're seeing here. Now you are having to navigate this situation with quite a lot of care. The chess game is very much about, I mean, it does indicate a game player, actually. But I think in this instance you need to kind of play the game. You've probably got to, you know, and I don't mean it in a really negative way, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't pay to be really it doesn't pay to reveal your hand. You know, it's like if you're playing a game of poker and you've got I don't play poker, so if this is completely the wrong word, but if you're playing a game of poker and you've got like a winning card, you know that you can, you know, I don't know, I don't play poker, but if you know you've got a winning hand, but you don't reveal it, I think you're having to slightly play the game here in some way, shape or form as you navigate out of something. But we're seeing your destiny, decoding your destiny, partnership, doing it with partners, doing it with friends. I do think that there is going to be some accelerated growth for you, actually. But you're having, and I think the accelerated growth is supported by love. It's supported by someone, a friend or, or a partner. There's someone who is actually supporting you through this. But there's definitely someone exiting. This is part of the big shift for you, and this is part of decoding your destiny. So whatever is going on for you, if you're having to handle a tricky situation with care and tact and diplomacy, and you feel a bit like, I'd much rather just be completely upfront, but you're having to handle it a bit more thoughtfully, that's fine, because you're navigating beyond something. Your destiny unfolding is that somebody or something is exiting your life. I think for most of you it's a someone. And I think they have been blocking you, and you're having to handle the situation quite carefully. I do also think with clearing the way that you have to take action. We see here, a tree has fallen, the path is blocked, but the man has an axe. He's ready to clear the way. So I do feel, but he's not alone. I do feel you do need to take action. And the journey in reverse. It could just be that somebody is leaving who's been blocking your journey, but it may be that travel is not the right thing at the moment in reverse. It may be that your travel plans are on hold because something has been blocked. Let's draw more tarot cards for you and see what else we're shown. In terms of decoding your destiny, you are on track with something. That I do really, really see. You're absolutely on track. Some of you may even have questioned whether you are on track. But you really are. You are on track to something that is going to work for you. On track to whether it's a project or indeed a location, or there's something you're on track with. And some of you may have questioned whether you're on track because, sometimes when we get blocked, we just think, well, is the universe trying to tell me this isn't right for me? And I don't think the universe is trying to tell you it isn't right for you. This reading is suggesting it is right for you. And you are meant to proceed, I think, on the route that you're going. But the blocks that have come through, specifically through somebody, I think, for many of you, they are being cleared, but you also have to take action as well. And this is where I think you can take action carefully, thoughtfully. May we may we kindly get more cards for pile 1. May we kindly ask for more information and more guidance, please, for my pile 1s. Right, you've got the 6 of Swords. Okay, you are actually I think you're through the worst. That's what I want to say. So even if you still feel like you're in the thick of something, I don't think you are. I think you're through the worst. I think the work that you've done to date, in the direction you're moving in, oh my goodness me, I'm just glancing at your cards here. These cards have success written all over them. Right, so whatever this is, you are through the worst. There's still some choppy waters to navigate, but you are absolutely through the worst of this. So something that was blocking you, someone, I think for many of you it was a someone. That's what I'm seeing here. I think it was a someone. Let me put the relationship card up here, and then we can place this card down here. Because look at this, you have 6 of Swords. So, you are moving forwards. I think the help you need is coming in. You've got the 6 of Wands, which is the card of success. It's very interesting because it is a card of being seen. It's visual success. We've then got the 10 of Cups, which is a joyous card of relationship. You have Pineapple, reconciliation. So something is to be reconciled. You had the Son of Coins, which is a card of harvest. Really interesting though, it's a card of harvest after a period of very hard work. It's not just like a random card of harvest. It is very, 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 it's harvest that you get because you really worked, and it was hard work to get there. So I'm seeing success. For those of you that have been dealing with somebody who was a bit underhanded, I think we have visible success. You are seen. You know, this is where literally you are seen. And I think you rise. I mean, the Sultan energy, this is the Emperor energy. The Sultan is at the top of his game. So decoding your destiny, this new moon, this big shift that is occurring at this time, you are going to shift from a place where you've been blocked to a place where you are very much in charge of your world. You are on track. This is what we are being assured. You're completely on track, my Pile One. And I'm so sorry that something's been such hard work, but the harvest is about to come in. And whatever you felt was blocking you, it's being removed. I do think for many of you, it's a someone. Now, whether this someone goes back historically, or whether it's someone who's just been relatively recently around, but the block is to be removed. But you do also need to take action, my sweetest souls. You really, really do. Action is needed on your part. You are so very... I do apologise. I don't know if you could hear that. My belly is gurgling. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I need to probably go and have some breakfast. But yeah, the way is being cleared. There's no doubt about it. The way is being cleared for you. I think the challenge for you right now is remaining, is recognising that you are on track, and sort of knowing that the blocks are being cleared as you are also taking action to move forwards. But you know, you may feel like you're not through the worst. You may feel like you're still in troubled waters. You are through the worst. You really are. This is the shift and the turning point that the new moon is bringing. This energy is a major shift. It's not without its challenges, this new moon, which is, you know, which is really interesting. It does have an energy of you know, some stuff maybe even being brought up from the past. But it is absolutely being cleared for you. There's no question of it. No question of it. I wonder if we should just get any more information for you. I'm sort of very conscious of this ticket to freedom. It may be that the circumstances are bringing your ticket to freedom. So this shift, the block being cleared, this is your freedom. This is everything now moves forwards. Everything is now accelerated. We'll just check in on that, because I wonder if some of you do literally get handed a ticket. But let's kindly ask about the ticket. Well, we have the Queen of Wands, which is the card of, I mean, I always think she's the Queen of Transformation. So I think the actual circumstances that you're in, that some of you will have thought, will it never ever go away? Will the blocks never stop happening? Is this the universe's way of saying to me, I'm not on track, I should do something different? Those blocks are being cleared. The energy is being cleared, the way is being opened. You are absolutely through the worst. And whoever it is that has been blocking you, for some people this has been very much what I would call behind the back, below the belt. They are being removed. You also have to take action. There are things that you need to do as well. Let's just get a tiny bit more information about the action that you need to take. That one flew out for you. Okay, this is interesting. We have the Four of Pentacles. Now, this is a card of both abundance, but also of kind of, I would say, charity, in a sense of, you know, if you do well, of sharing that abundance. It's like not being too attached to, maybe not being too attached to a financial gain. Let's just ask. We've got the Death card. I want to say let go of your attachment to an outcome. The way is being cleared for you. Oh, look at this. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Your harvest is coming in. If you're worrying, I think if your circumstance, if your project, there's something you want to move forwards with, if you're worrying that money is an issue for you, and you're worrying about whether you should or shouldn't proceed. I think this is a message for some of you, not all, actually. But I think the way is being cleared. I think the resources you need are coming. This is going to be, again, we've got the death card. Somebody's being removed. That a block is being removed. You do need to take action, and I think with the clearing the way card, it's about committing to that action, not worrying, thinking, well, I can't really commit to that because I don't have the money to do it, or if I spend the money there, I won't have enough money over here, kind of thing. This is suggesting that you will receive what you need. We've got the harvest card here. So this is suggesting that you need to take an action and not worry about the sort of almost, I think, like the financial investment for some of you is what's coming through here. It would be like if you really wanted to do a course, but you're postponing it. Or you were worried about doing the course because, I don't know, someone you knew that you didn't like was on it, and then they drop out. And so it's like, oh, I could go for it. But then you're worrying about how much it's going to cost. That this would be suggesting go and do the course. The person has dropped out. That's the block that's being removed by the overall energy. And you then need to proceed with something. You need to take an action and be prepared to invest in it, I think. Wow, pile one, this is a major shift as we look at your destiny unfolding. I think the decoding of your destiny as well is that you are on track. Whatever it is you're doing, you are meant to succeed in it. It plays a part in, perhaps even in the bigger picture, but you are meant to succeed in whatever pathway you're trying to move forwards on, but have felt that it's not moving forwards or the doorways haven't been opening for you. You are meant to be doing this. This is a big affirmation. Pile one, this is your reading. I am sending you so much love. Beautiful souls, if this is resonating with you, don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon to make sure that my readings come into your stream and you never miss one as soon as I upload it. And I am thrilled for you. I am truly, truly thrilled for you. Beautiful souls, tons of love, and I look forward to seeing you for some other readings really soon. And thank you all so much who support the channel. I know recently some of you have been making donations. I am really, really grateful. I'm very humbled and very grateful and feel very honoured to be reading for you all. Tons of love, pile one. Pile two, welcome to your reading. I think this is an extremely auspicious time for you with Grace in full flight. This is like the realization of your dreams. And you have this beautiful little fledgling bird sitting in a hand. Although this token speaks about gratitude, and I think you will be very grateful, perhaps you already are, but I feel like what was coming through for me with that little bird was it's like it's time to fly the nest, or it's time to take flight. Grace in full flight. It's time for you to soar. Let's draw your tea leaves first. Let's move into your oracle cards, and I'll draw the Akashic Tarot and we'll see what we are shown. I'm seeing these two, also this one, and two coming out there. I feel there is one here as well. Yeah, I think it is this one. Okay, let us see what is coming through for you. Let's draw your other oracle cards as well. I'm seeing actually this one I showed first. That one very clearly. And let's draw some Akashic Tarot cards for you as well. I'm seeing this one, definitely this one, and definitely that one. Okay. Your tea leaves, you have feather. You have ink pot. You have sun, you have vase or vase, depending on where you are in the world and your accent. And then you have bird flying. Wow, wow. This is amazing. You've got the bird, you've got Grace in full flight, you've got the bird flying. Okay, relationships. So this is Libra. Libra also came out this card came out in pile one. So if you were drawn to pile one, beautiful souls, I highly recommend you check it out because there may well be an important message for you there. So we are decoding your destiny. That's what we're asking about in these readings. You have the ancestor of memory. Okay. We also have Archangel Raphael in reverse, views of the ego in reverse, 7 of scrolls, intricacies and industry in upright position, and then you have the lookout. I'll show you this card in this way, but it's in reverse as well. Okay, let's see what we have here. Now, I think that might need to go down there. Now, Archangel Raphael in reverse, views of the ego. I almost want to say, if there is something that has stopped you, when I say stopped you, you know, like if there's something within you where you, because sometimes we get a reading and it's like, get out of your own way. I feel like there's something in you that has been stopping you. Grace in full flight. It's really time to fly. Ancestor of memory. Let's put that here. And we have the relationships card, the Libra card. Gosh, that light is very bright. My apologies. I don't know if I can if I turn it off, I'm not sure there'll be enough light. Let me just check that out. Okay, I think that's okay. And I've moved the camera around a little bit just to give a little bit more space. Now, ancestor of memory. This is referring to something in the past. Do it with partners. Do it with Libra. This is definitely, it's come out in this way up, so we're definitely seeing a relationship connection. Now, views of the ego. This is about really recognizing when something no longer serves you. You're burning your bridges in some way, shape or form. I think for some of you, your tolerance of something has reached a point of no return. With the feather card, I mean, I don't always connect to the writing beneath, but in this instance, someone you know is undependable and insincere. Inkpot, problems to be resolved. We've got secret admirer, happiness and well-being, which are really lovely, and news is on the way. I think there is this, basically this reading is saying, look, this is your time to build something. In decoding your destiny, this is the point where you are meant to build something. And I think for many of you, it's going to be big. Intricacies and industry, it's going to be big. But I think this is almost like, I think that for some of you, and this might be right across the board with your friendships, your relationships, you know, we might be talking about a certain person, but we could also be talking about just people. I feel like this is about relationships across the board. I think you are in a place where you are no longer prepared to tolerate or maintain any kind of relationship where it doesn't resonate with you. And it's not about being harsh with people. It's sort of recognizing, I think, with Archangel Raphael in reverse, I think you're recognizing it's not your job to look after people. Maybe you grew up in a world where you became a people pleaser. You had to look after everybody. You were the one that had to fix the problems, or you were the one that had to be nice to everybody. And I feel that you've reached a point where for you that kind of pattern is over. And I do feel it's like you're bringing discernment into your life. And I think this is part of your destiny, whatever you've come here to do. Because you are in a place where I honestly think this is your time. This is your time to fly. It's your time to skyrocket to happiness and success, whatever that is. Happiness, well-being, success, whatever that would mean for you. Happiness across the board. But this is absolutely your time. And I think you are becoming discerning across the board. I think you are really, really only keeping people in your world who resonate with you or who resonate at a high vibration. I think you've recognized how much people's energy affects you. I think you've always been sensitive to energy, but I think you've been brought up having to keep the peace, or feeling like you had to sit in the middle of something, or, you know, never feeling like, you know, just being a kind of a people pleaser, that kind of stuff. I think you are literally in a place where it's almost like you really can't do that anymore. Doesn't work. It's like if somebody is, you know, not resonating with you, if they're really ego-y, they're just their behavior is really, really self-centered or really selfish, you're like, do you know, nope, that's not for me. Nope, nope, nope. No, 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 nope. Just really, really there. Now we have Feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere, and problems to be resolved with the ink pot. So I do feel there is a situation around you that is having to be either repaired or attended to. And I think there's a definite clarity from your perspective that you don't keep people in your world who don't resonate with you anymore. And this is part of your destiny. You came here to unravel this and to reach a point where you could live with your energy at a high vibration and keep it really, really pure. Let's see what your other tarot cards are showing. Let's kindly ask for information about decoding pile 2's destiny. I can see this part of it, but where is this going with secret admirer and news on the way and the problems to be resolved? Can we have more information about these areas, please? Okay, I am actually seeing that one as well. Loads of cards coming through for you. Okay, so your first card, you have the 10 of Staffs. Right, this is a card of burden, carrying too much responsibility. So back to exactly what we were saying. I'm going to put that over here. It is absolutely, this card is an invitation to liberate yourself ultimately from something. It's like, you know, it's not working. You cannot carry the responsibility of other people anymore when it's not yours to carry. So this is a burden is to be lifted. And I'm going to say fast, okay? Because we've got the Chariot card coming through here. And the 6 of Cups. Some of you may actually be letting go of internal patterns of thinking. Some of you may be really letting go of actual people, but others and circumstances. But I think your relationships across the board are being evaluated. And with the 6 of Cups, there's a lot of nostalgia, there's a lot of looking back, but the looking back is to liberate yourself from things that no longer serve you. I think you've experienced some really big disappointments with the 5 of Cups. I think people have disappointed you. For some of you, this turning point right now could be almost like identifying patterns from the past or belief systems from the past that have been actually stopping you from flying, keeping you in a position where you're people pleasing, when you really, really shouldn't be. You should be looking after yourself. This is a point of liberation, and I do think there is some reflection and review involved here. But look at this. We have... Let's move these up a little bit. Look at this. I think there has been a disappointment. There's a realisation. There's possibly even a realisation in you in terms of, you know, some of the patterns that you've been involved in where you've, you know, conceded when you might retrospectively have felt that you perhaps shouldn't have conceded. Now we have the Ace of Staffs. This is what we're saying. Look at you. We've got the Ace of Staffs. We've got the 8 of Staffs. So this is the Ace of Wands and the 8 of Wands. Something in your world is changing rapidly. Now we have the King of Pentacles as well, which is a card of direct success. If any of you have been held back in some kind of venture that is to do with, I'm going to say, your health, the location that you live in, your work, you know, money generally, This is going to shift, and very, very quickly. It's almost as though energetically, if you make a decision to let go of people that no longer, or people that don't resonate with you, you evaluate across the board, you kind of burn your bridges here with some things. There are some, anyone that doesn't resonate with you, this is all about relationships, but relationships across the board. So anyone that doesn't resonate with you, without any kind of resentment or clinging to it, you just make a decision. You know, if it can't be healed, if somebody isn't conscious enough to have an open, realistic conversation with you, you're not going to keep them in your world. That's what I'm really seeing here. Let me just make sure that camera is focusing for you. Yeah, you're not keeping these people in your life. If it doesn't resonate, you're not keeping them. It's really quite clear cut. Now we do have a card that says news is on the way. The fact that we have the Chariot, the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Wands, I think something is going to move forwards very quickly. I suspect it's coming because you get some news. Now, if any of you have been held back in love, then it may be that someone comes forward. And that in itself, you know, you meet someone, a secret admirer, someone who's always really, really liked you, comes forward. And, you know, that kind of overcomes any kind of inner patterns of where you lacked in belief about yourself and that your deservedness of love. I think if you are navigating a difficult situation where you're carrying more responsibility than you ought to, I just feel that this news will arrive. Maybe somebody who's always really admired you or your work, someone comes forwards and says, look, I really admire what you're doing here. I really want to support you. And gives you the resources to actually move forwards. Someone comes forwards, I think, news arrives. I say someone because we've got a secret admirer here. So I do feel that someone comes out of the woodwork who actually can support you. I also think maybe they bring some news to you that gives you the freedom you need, almost like the validation when someone gives you a piece of information and you're like, whoa, I don't have to support that person anymore. Or, you know, I can now go and speak out about this because now I know what's going on. You know, it's like you get validation from someone somewhere. I'm going to draw some more cards for you, pile 2. Let's just see what is it that comes. I think it is news. There's a piece of news or, you know, like when someone gives you a piece of information and it's vital. It's this piece of information that empowers you. The Ace of Wands is a really empowered card. You are empowered to take action. It's like you're on a winning streak. You know you can fly. You can do this. So someone gives you a piece of information that is so key and valuable to the unfolding of your world at this moment, because you are meant to fly. You are meant to soar. This is your time in something. I think it releases the past, whether it releases a pattern of the past that you've been still navigating with, or it literally enables you to release somebody or a circumstance or let go of something. Or let go of fear, of even maybe fear of visibility, fear of flying for some of you. Right, either way, a problem is resolved. How does this news arrive? Can we get any information about the news? We may not get information of clarity, but let's ask. I feel it does. I feel someone comes out of the woodwork and gives you a piece of information that is vital to the way that you move forwards here. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man, and we have the Five of Swords. Yeah, I think something is brought to light. Look at that. You have the Eight of Wands again. You've got the Star, you've got the Eight of Wands, and then you have the Page of Swords. Something that has not been seen comes to light. It may well come from somebody who really, it could even come in what I would almost call a quiet sort of way, where someone sends you a piece of information. You know, like if you got a random piece of information, somebody who's absolutely rooting for you, but they are a little bit anxious about being seen because, you know, views of the ego. There's been some people maybe around who certainly don't resonate with you. You know, where someone gives you a piece of information and they give it to you quietly, but it enables you to take a clear course of action. It enables you to say something. It enables you to, and I think you do, take action immediately. There is a piece of news coming to you. I think it could previously not have been seen. So it would be something that was previously unknown, but it changes everything for you. It literally changes everything. It's an eye-opener. A piece of information, and it's like, wow, you know, this is almost like a piece of evidence that enables you to be utterly empowered and move your situation forwards. This is a very big turning point. Your destiny is to fly at something. You are to succeed. There is something you are really to soar in. Something has, I suspect, been in the way, but I just think this is more about energy and you choosing who you keep in your world. If you've been working your socks off, looking after somebody, and then you discover they're perfectly capable of looking after themselves. It would be like if you were financially supporting someone and they keep draining you, you know, needing money, and, you know, I can't afford this and I can't afford that, and then you suddenly discover some news. Someone tells you, yeah, well, I know you're supporting them, but did you actually realise that they purchased this? They've just purchased a brand new car while they've been getting you to buy their groceries. You know, they could have purchased a second-hand car. So there's something about something comes to light, and it makes so much sense to you. It liberates you from the burden of taking care of someone or buying into something or going down a particular route. It frees you. It absolutely frees you to move forwards, and you will sail. You will literally, you're going to fly in this. So you are going to be absolutely at the top of your game. And that's what I'm seeing. This is the turning point. So I do think there is something of a disappointment. Now, whether you are looking back at disappointments and you're recognising the impact of history on your current way of being, and you're drawing those lines now in the current time, or whether there has actually been a genuine disappointment. Somebody hasn't performed or been doing well or been honest or upfront. But either way, I think a piece of information is given to you. I think it may well come from somebody in a quiet way, but my goodness me, it empowers you, and you can then take action in a really dynamic, absolutely burning those bridges, moving forwards. Knowing you're on the winning team, knowing success is with you. It's like something that would be indisputable in terms of moving something forwards, so that you know you are absolutely kind of you're on a roll and you can move forwards, and and it's high time. And I think you will be unbelievably grateful, because it liberates you from something that's held you back. But that resonance of something, I just think you are across the board, absolutely across the board. You're just making clear-cut choices around who you will have in your world and who you won't. And my goodness me, just that cleansing of energy moves everything forwards. But there is a very specific message in here for some of you, that news is given to you in a particular way. And maybe that is also partly what helps you to become ultra discerning. It's like, wow, I can really see this. I can see how this has panned out. I can see how this has impacted on me. So, I'm now free and liberated to move forwards. I don't have to keep pleasing people or giving at the expense of myself. It's got that kind of flavour to it, my beautiful pile twos. Wow. Unbelievable shift. It is amazing. Pile 2, keep me posted. I love to hear in the comments what's happening, so do come back and let us know, or tune in with my weekly readings and let me know there how things are going with you. My beautiful souls, I'm sending you all the love in the world. I'm really excited to know how this pans out. Tons of love to you. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. This is a card of intuition. Now we're decoding your destiny. Gosh, there's a flood of messages coming through here. We haven't even started drawing your cards, so I'm just going to voice some of them as I'm hearing them, because obviously they'll be for some and not for others. But with wedding bells, and also the little gingerbread cookie here, surrender sensitive sister. If any of you are thinking of getting married or you're trying for a family, I think this is suggesting that this will happen, maybe intuitively. Any connections with children, or if you were thinking of working with couples or with working with children, then I think this is going to potentially be an affirmation of your destiny. I want to draw cards before I dive in too much, but I feel like this is about using your intuition, knowing that that the universe will take you where you need to be. But I'm very struck by the wedding bells and the cookie. There's quite a powerful message coming through with them, really. Let's draw your oracle cards, your cards, and see what else we're shown. And what is this new moon creating? What shift is being created? I'm seeing this. I definitely want this one here. And I think it's that one as well. Okay, let's move our tea leaves out the way. Can we kindly ask, here we go, you've got a planet card. 4 cards for my beautiful pile 3. We are decoding, asking how is this new moon helping you to decode your destiny. Now I'm also going to draw from the Akashic Tarot as well. There's your first one, the journey. It's come out in reverse. Saying this. 2. I'm actually seeing all of those. Gosh, lots of cards from this pack for you. Right, let's just place that there, see what else we have. So tea leaves. You have bridge, you have heart, you have knot, you have egg, and you have fair man. Okay. You have shaman of foresight, and you have Mars, action, energy, confronting something, moving forwards. Okay. How might we place our cards? Let's put this one up here. Yeah, shaman of foresight, bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Deep perfection, success is with the egg. We have success. Now the knot is about unsuccessful plans, but you know, I'm not seeing it. It says unsuccessful plans. Very often for me when I work with these cards, the messages that I get from them are not always directly related to the writing that's on the cards. I think some of you are going to tie the knot. Okay, now whether you tie the knot successfully, whether this is about tying the knot with a person or tying the knot to a project, committing to a project, I actually do think, especially with the shaman of foresight, because the shaman of foresight is about looking ahead intuitively, there's a direction for you to go in. I think you're needing to take an action. There's a direction to go in. Sangha community, loving elementals, the sands of time. You need to take action. There's definitely a need to take action. The timing is really right for you, beautiful souls, to be taking action in something. We have winged messengers and the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is a card that lets us know that you're on track karmically. Okay, let's just really sit with your cards. Yeah, for some of you, with the dealings with a man with blonde, grey or white hair, I think that there will be a person who is involved, especially because the wedding bells is about relationship. I think there will be somebody involved in something that you are navigating intuitively. kind of feel I better draw your more cards for you. With the winged messengers, it shows like a bird coming in here, but it also shows a cup of tea that's been spilt on the table. I wonder if there is something with the journey. I think your journey has been interrupted by something. That's what I'm seeing here. That's beginning to make sense. Okay, I think your journey has been interrupted. Your pathway at the moment has been interrupted by something. And there is now a bridge to cross. Yeah, I think your journey was interrupted. So maybe you thought it would be a bit like if you thought you were on one path. Something has happened, something's gone wrong, or there's been an interruption, and the purpose of it is to get you to reevaluate some element of how this will pan out. You're being asked to look to the future. So, for example, if you had always thought you would stay in a particular job or in a particular location, something's happened to show you that this is not the right location for you in the long run. I'm not seeing you moving imminently, or, but I think, it would be like as well with the bridge to cross and with love, love, deep affection and caring, Sangha, community, loving elementals again, children involved. I feel maybe there is something has interrupted the path that you thought you were on. Now, whether this is your job or your location, whatever it is for you, but something hasn't run smoothly. And I think there is a purpose in it to get you to look ahead. It's like you would have stayed in the same job. If this hadn't gone wrong, you would have stayed in the same job or stayed in the same location. And I think you're meant to move to be with the right people. If you're going to start a family, maybe you need to be moving to somewhere where there's a better school, or there's something about making a move, a bridge to cross. Success assured with good plans and hard work. Yeah, I think this is about tying the knot. And maybe for some of you it could be about untying a knot. Almost like simultaneously as you untie one knot, you tie another. It would be like if you were really fixed in remaining in one location. And then, you meet somebody, the love of your life, and they live overseas. And you're like, whoa, I don't think I can do this. Well, I think maybe you need to then untie a knot in order to move or maybe relocate to be with them. Some action is required on your part. This feels like quite a complex story unfolding here. There's definitely a commitment coming. Maybe you need to take your time with the journey in reverse. Seeing this one as well. Okay, see what your tarot cards are showing us, my lovely pile of threes. Right, Seven of Cups. I'm seeing you tangled in decision. Okay. You are being asked to look ahead. Okay. You're being asked to really, really look ahead and think about what would success look like for you. Yeah, look at this. This is, we've got the Nine of Coins. Yeah, I'm seeing you really undecided about something. This is definitely the Shaman of Foresight. Look ahead. It's kind of almost like dream yourself into the world you want to create, and then trust that spirit, source, the universe, your guides, your angels are going to guide you. I feel like you possibly are in a situation where you sometimes are finding it a little hard to look ahead. But this is saying to you, look ahead. What do you actually want? And I would also say don't cling to something. We've got the Four of Cups here. Well, it's not in the don't cling. Don't worry about how. if you've got, this is like, look at what's the end vision of the world, what's your end goal? Think about that bigger picture, that foresight, whatever your circumstances right now. Think about where you want to be and the shape of your life. And then it's kind of like trust and believe and take actions rather than worrying about it. Just take actions step by step. And each step of the way, you'll be guided, you'll be shown. You have the Six of Staffs, the Six of Wands. This is the card of the tarot. We've got room for another card here. May we kindly have another card, please, to understand this story that's unfolding. Look at this, Nine of Cups. You're meant to be, this is to do with family. And whether that's your spiritual family, whether it's your work family, whether it's the being in a location where in the right community, it's like it's to do with your surroundings and recognizing that if there is a delay or an interruption, it's to give you or if something doesn't appear to be working out, it's the reason it's not is simply to give you the insight or the foresight, really, more than insight, the foresight to look ahead and recognize that if you had continued investing in where you were, it would not be able to unfold and give you every bit of your desires. Might give you material gain, but it probably wouldn't give you the right people being around you. And I think as we decode your destiny, I think your destiny is to, for some of you, it genuinely is to relocate. I think there's possibly things you have to do where you are before you move. I'm not seeing something move in a hurry, but I am seeing something. This is like trust that what's happening is here to guide you. Whatever's taking place, it's here to guide you. The timing is impeccable. So rather than worrying about the choices, this is all about looking ahead and looking at the end goal and trusting that what you need will be given to you. That's what we're being shown here. That's what the new moon is bringing. This wonderfully intuitive, sensitive, intuitive sensitivity. It's not here to get you to worry. It's here to help you to look way ahead and really think about, as I said, for many that there is location coming through. Okay. But as I said, it could be staying in the same, I don't know, maybe if you were thinking of attending a new church or you were thinking of, finding a new, community group or moving your children to a new school. There's a shift in some way where something that isn't working is, the reason it hasn't worked was to get you to consider the longer term future. Where you are would not bring you the ultimate outcome that you need. Okay, so I'm just getting more cards. I want to get more information for you. How does this pan out in the immediacy is really where we're going with this. So we've got the Two of Swords. Okay, so I'm seeing that you don't quite know. There's conflict around what to do. We have the Three of Wands is again a card of look ahead. We have the Three of Swords. How interesting. And then we have the Hermit. Rather than dwelling in what I would call that sort of place where we can get a little bit locked into, I don't really know what choice to make. If you look ahead and really acknowledge and validate what's going on around you, you'll realise that if something hasn't worked, it's actually because it was guidance to help you to look ahead and recognise that some circumstance around you where you are at the moment is not going to serve your long-term goals. So rather than debating, do I stay, don't I? I think the answer is, I think the answer is that it's almost certainly appropriate to move on. Let's get more guidance and information about it. But what's important is not about, it's about moving on, navigating your current situation so you move on to something that is really, it is where you've got the right people around you, basically. Yeah, the right work family, the right spiritual family, the right community family, the right family, the right, whatever it is. Maybe kindly ask how this progresses for my pile threes, please. Lots of cards coming through. We have the Queen of Swords. Look at that. You have the Six of Wands again. We've got the Tower. And we've got the Knight of Cups. This is fab. Okay, so uncoding or decoding your destiny, uncoding, decoding your destiny. I think you are meant to potentially move on from something. But the way to do it is to sort of intuitively, I think intuitively you know that something needs to shift or change. I think if you can acknowledge what hasn't worked, but not in a sort of I'm really down in the dumps about this, but as wow, this has been a real gift because it's showing me that I need to be somewhere else. Let's say your best friend just got or your best mate at work just got the promotion that you had wanted, and you had been previously told it was yours, and somehow something happened in that way. It's just a silly example, but it's like this is the energy. It stops you in your tracks. But actually what it tells you, and your friend had really supported you writing your application form for the promotion. I mean, enlarging on the story, and then you realise, and they had never even told you that they were applying for it, and you realise that's not okay. It's heartbreaking. But, now you know. So look ahead, actually, and thank the universe for creating a situation that has shown you that your long-term future was not in that job. It was not in that company. I think someone may well come in to guide you. We've got the Hermit. Dealings and relationships with a man with blonde, grey or white hair, where you might tie a knot or indeed untie a knot, making a commitment. If you've been broken-hearted, if you've come out of a relationship, I would say, I think although this isn't specifically a relationship reading, I would say probably you may well actually meet someone quite quickly, hence somebody's around, do you dare to sort of take a risk? Well, this would suggest moving, it would be a very life-changing move, but I think you will absolutely love it. That connection to a long-distance relationship is really showing you that you could be somewhere else, that you can have a life somewhere else. There's definitely, what I'm seeing is fast success as well. You've got so many cards of success. You've got success assured with good plans. You've got the Six of Wands showing up twice. I think that I'm not sure quite how imminent this is, but I think that you are going to get assistance and help, very possibly, or guidance, or be steered or move towards a new circumstance or situation by a man with blonde, grey or white hair coming in. But this is all about karmically, your destiny is about, I think, changing something, and intuitively I think you already know it, but it's hard to let go of something that you already have a stable connection to, like having a steady job or something. But this is going to shift in the right way. Let's just get just a few more cards for you. Can we see any more information on how this will pan out? A sneaky peek into the future. Oh wow. Look at this. You have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. What a dynamic duo. You are absolutely going to achieve success. You're going to love the outcome, because the King of Pentacles does connect very much to our physical surroundings, the practical stuff of our lives, our work, our health. If there's been a health issue for you, and you've been really worried about it, I think someone will come along and assist. Maybe there have been, as I said, fertility issues even for some of you. In which case, I think perhaps you have been sort of feeling like the environment you're in is a bit toxic, or maybe, you're actually considering, you're seeing perhaps if you're having fertility issues, you could be seeing a particular doctor and you're deciding to get a second opinion. There's a shift here. But you are absolutely primed for, well, I mean, there's just success, success, success written across this reading. So this is very much about looking ahead, thinking about what you really, really, really want, recognizing that anything that's gone wrong is actually part of a sign or a signal or a synchronicity to show you that your future is somewhere else, or it's a different shape, wherever that is or however that is, and that's why something hasn't gone well. But whatever you do, you can now, I think, because you can acknowledge and validate that, you can now begin to build plans which are about looking ahead. And as soon as you start to build plans, the universe will guide you. Literally every step of the way you'll be shown. A guide will come in, or a man will come in to assist, but you will be guided every step of the way. Once you make a decision to look ahead and say, I know what I want, this is my vision of the future, the moment you get that, the universe will then start to respond and provide the steps for you. Pile 3, this is your reading. I am sending you so much love, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here. Do keep me posted. I hope for those of you that tuned into the energy update for the month ahead, you've enjoyed that as well. Beautiful souls, don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to make sure you never miss a reading. And I am just sending you all the love in the world. Tons of love.